Hello, today I'm going to help you to build your FreeCodeCamp Personal Portfolio website. This is the finish of the project. It will look like this one. So we have on the top fixed nav bar, and also has hover effect when you hover on this link, and when you hover also on this section it will zoom out the text, and also when you scroll it will smoothly scrolling to that section. For example, if we move to project section, when you hover on the card, one of the project cards, so also it has a nice CSS animation. When you move to contact section, when you hover also on contact section, it will zoom out the text, and same as when you hover on one of this text, it will also zoom out and rotate with the CSS animation and styling. At the bottom we have this footer, and when you, for example, click on one of these contact, it will open new tab and it will go to that contact page. For example, this is my GitHub contact page. And also, for example, if you go back and you also try to press Facebook, also it will take you to my Facebook account. For example, if you press this Dwayne tick, it will take you to my website, so where you can find more information. And also, if we press projects, when you, for example, press one of these projects, it will take you to the code bin where this project being built. And when you press about, it will take you to the first section. And also it is responsive, work on all devices. Let's just show you how it look like on the mobile. And here, how does it look like on mobile? This is a main page, landing page. And if you press on projects, it will scroll to projects area where you can also scroll and see more. And also, as you see, I'm hiding the scroll bar. Is not visible. And also you press contact, it will take you to contact section, and if you press back about, it will take you to up where the about or welcoming page. This how briefly does it look like on mobile. And so let's start building it. This is a free code camp where they giving us all the user stories that we have to follow to build this application. And also they giving us on the bottom of this page this code bin where we can start writing our code. Just open this a new tab and move to this screen, and then let's just close where this is the first write section for JavaScript. We are not going to write JavaScript, and we are going also to collapse this CSS area. For now we'll just leave HTML area, so to have enough space that where we can write our code, and also we can remove this one. We don't need this comment, and we'll leave on our left or right side the original page that we are going to build. And just let's start writing our HTML. So here we'll start writing our HTML, and I will start by first section, which will be the header. If you see here on this page, we have the first section will be the header, and I will start by writing the parent of the header, and then just will spend the time explaining the code instead of writing it. So let's start by writing the parent first. We'll start by nav, and with the ID called navbar. And just close this one, close the parent. And inside the parent, I'm going just to bring the children of this parent, and I will explain all of them line by line. And just here, paste them. Inside this nav, we have first one is a container. So we'll use this container to position all the children on the middle of the screen, just for styling. And also the second one, the nav content, this is it will include all the content just to apply styling for them. And the first child for this content will be logo, which is this image here. And the second one will be this logo also has an image inside as a HTML element, and this image has a source with image URL. This is just my YouTube logo image, and also has alt attribute, which it will describe the image. And also we have the second child, an order list with the 3 list element. Each list element, it will represent one of the sections that we have on our page. So first one will be about or welcoming page, and the second one projects, where we adding our projects, and the third one contact, where we leave our contact information. So briefly, this is the header. I will start directly adding the styling for the header. So if we open the CSS area, before the header styling, I will add the general styling, basically for the body and also for the container and HTML. I will just copy paste the styling. I already have it ready, and I will explain that. I will start by at the top. I'm adding to HTML scroll behavior smooth. So basically when it's scrolling, it will apply a smooth scrolling behavior. And I'm also applying to the body itself font family. I'm using this font family, and you can use your own or you can use this one. It's not that big deal. And also I'm adding a background image. I just got this background image from Google. You can bring your image and use your own image, or you can use the same one. I'm adding also the background size to be covered to cover all the body, and also I'm adding background repeat to be no repeat. It will not repeat the image. And also here I'm adding I'm hiding the scroll bar for this MS overflow style none. This it will hide the scrolling for Internet Explorer. And the second one here, scrolling dash width none, it will hide the scroll bar for Firefox. And this here, it will hide the scroll bar for Chrome, Safari, and Opera, not Internet Explorer. This is how we're hiding the scroll bar from our website. And also I'm applying a standard font size for H1 and H2. It will be 45 pixel. I'm adding this font family only for H2 and H1 to make them stand out. And you can add your own font family, or you can use this one. And also I'm adding for this container, which it will position all the child on the middle of the screen. It will have max width 1200 pixel. Margin top and bottom it will be 0, and right and left it will be auto. And also padding top down 0, right left 20 pixel. And also if you notice here, I'm adding this font family on between these goutes, so that I'm going to bring it from Google Fonts, and by default it will use this font family. Otherwise you can bring that font. How I did, you can bring that, you can just find your font name and go to Google Fonts, and then you can search for it here. You can find it, then press it. After press it, then just select it from here. Select this one, for example, then copy this link and bring it to your code. For example, I'm going to use this one, like this one, and I'm going to copy this and go back to my code and just bring it before or after this script, paste it there, and then that is going to change your H1 and H2 font family. At the moment we didn't add that here yet, so we are going to see it later. If we move to next section, which will be the styling for this navbar, let me just bring that styling. And this one here is a header styling. So we'll start explain what is this. So this just comment to describe this area. First one, it will be the nav bar ID. We'll use the ID to select, as you see in your left side. And this nav we are applying width to take the full 100 of the screen width, and also background color, which is this dark red, and also take a fixed position. So when you move the screen, the nav bar it will be fixed, it will not move with the content. And also take top 0, left 0. So here will take top this area 0 and left 0, right 0. And also it will take border bottom 2 pixel, solid black. It's hardly to see that because the background is black too. It's not easy to recognize unless when we move to section has a white background. And also has index 5. So the index 5 it will be top of everything. I will add index later to other section, but will be less than 5. And nav content, which is a class that we added to wrap all the content of the nav bar. It will have a display flex to apply flex item to that content, and will take the full 100 of that section. And also align item center, it will align all this item on the center of the nav bar. and the logo has also display flex and width 15%, and the image also takes the full 100 of the width of the parent, which would be 15%. And an order list for this section here is getting a font size 18 for small screens, and also has a font weight bold. The font weight will be bold, and padding 0, list style none, width 90%, taking also width 9% because already the logo taking 15%, so the width should be 85%. That all is, the total will be 100%. Display flex to apply flex item to their children, and justify content flex end. It will move all the unordered list to the right side of the navbar. And also we applying for the list item display to be inline block, and also because by default will be inline. And we also adding margin right for each item 20 pixel, and we're removing that margin from the last item. And also we applying for the anchor tag text decoration none to remove any default text decoration, and also the color, it will be white. By default it is blue. We're changing that to be white. And transition, so this to apply CSS animation, you will add this transition to see the effect of your animation. Basically we add transition, then for all the CSS element it will apply this transition, and the period of it will be 0.5 millisecond, and the type it will be is in out. And when adding a hover, for example, when adding a hover for anchor tag or for a HTML element, it will change the color to be black. For example, when you hover, see, it will change the color to be black. This is in small device, but later we'll add different hover for a large screen. So this briefly how it look like on the header or navbar on the small screen. This is style for the small screen, and how does it look like for the nav bar. So if we need to apply the media query for large screen, let me just bring the media query for the header section, and just here let me add the media query. The first here, see above 400, we updating the logo to take 10% of the width. It will not take 15, instead of 15 it will take 10. And also above 600 breakpoint, we're changing the font size for unordered lists, and instead of 18 it will be 24. And for the anchor tag we're adding padding top down right left 46, and also we're changing the hover to have a background and to have a dark red color. So when we hover, you can see now difference that from the small devices. And still, if you need to see the difference, you can just try to drag to small screen and see how on a small screen behave and on large screen. So if you see the font size change on the small screen, and also the background for this hovering is disappeared. But if we drag and try to show it on large screen, so now the text size is increased and also has a background when we hover on it. So that briefly how does it look like on the small screen and also on large screen when we use this media query. If we move to the next section, which will be welcoming section, after the nav, add some more space, and I will start writing the parent. It will be just section, and close the section. And this section should has an ID, which it will be welcome section. And inside I will just add, which it just has only one child, which is a container, to bring all this text on the middle of the screen, and also with the H1 as a heading. So this is our section, that all the HTML for this welcoming section. Let's move to add the styling, and this here before adding the styling basically, and you can't see anything because the section now behind this image, and we are going to add styling to make it to be visible above this image. And if we move to welcoming style, this is a welcoming style section. Just let me add it before the media query. And here just we have two styling elements. First one for the main welcoming section, it will be taking full width of the screen, and also it will taking 100 height of the screen. And also it will be displayed flex to apply all flex item to it. So we're adding flex item center to center the item on the screen, and also color white to change the color to white, and transition as I explained previous transition, also just to apply CSS animation. And also we add hover here for this welcoming section, and scale 1.5. basically this when, for example, come to welcome section and hover, and then it will zoom out the text. So this is a welcoming section, and we can now move to next section, which it will be a project section, which has a lot of work to be done. Let's start with that one. Just after welcoming section, we can add now the project section. I will start just by typing section. This will be the parent for project section. We'll add ID projects and just close the section. So inside here, this section, we will have this one. The first div will be representing the container to wrap all the children on the middle of the screen, and the second one is the title, and third one the card. Let's just close the card. Let's close the card parent, and also let's close the container. So basically this is a container, and this is a closing tag for container, and this is the title for project section. And we have these cards. Inside the cards we have 5 cards. So let me bring first card, just explain it, and then the rest of the 4s will be similar to this one. This is the first one. The first card will be just anchor tag. The parent, it will be anchor tag with the class called card, and with the href for your project URL on CodeBuild, so it will redirect to this URL, and also has a target as blanket or blank. It should be just blank underscore blank, and also has an image, and this image, it will be your project image. It has an alt attribute, which it will be describing the image or the project, and also has a source, which it will be your image source, and has a caption, image caption. So this will be describing your image or your card. I use GitHub to upload image and use them, or use their URL here on this project. Basically, I will add another video for how to upload your image to GitHub and use them in your website. So let's bring the next 4 cards. They have the same HTML elements and classes and IDs. So basically, this is the second one, has a card class and has a href attribute, and also a target. All the target should be underscore blank, and this one too, and this one, and this last one. So basically, all these 5 cards has the same HTML elements and classes and IDs, and also attributes. They just has different text. For example, this will be representing product landing page, and this doing a tick profile portfolio, and this technical documentation, and this attribute page. This is a project that already I did before. And if you didn't watch them, so I will leave the link down of this video to go and watch the tutorial for this websites. And this, now I added the project section. So basically I can press project, it will take me to project section. If you see now, we have this like large, too much large images, it's not readable at all. We are going to add our CSS should be look like this in our right side on this small device. On large device it will be look different. So let's first add it to small device. Let's add our CSS. This is the project section CSS code, and I will start just explaining line by line. So first it will be the parent selector, which is the ID. It will be projects. If you see here, this one projects. This is on our left side, projects, and we adding to the parent just background color. It will be white, and now when we're moving that background, we can see the border bottom for navbar. It will look black. So basically, just now I can show you. If you see now, we have this border bottom black. Earlier we couldn't see that, but now we can see it. So we're adding background color white, adding top down 20, right left 0, and minimum height 100 the screen height, and also align item center to bring all the children to the center of the screen, and also display flex to apply all flex property. And also we're adding for this section title, we're adding padding top 30 and padding bottom 73, so to make it in really good visible area. And we also are applying for all the cards parent. We are applying display grid, and we adding a grid template columns. This by default one, it will be displaying the card in one column. And if I just let me comment out the media query for this one, if you see here, let me comment out this section to explain how the card will be look like on a small device. It should be only one column. Let's see, move to for cards here, it will be displaying all the card one column. So we're adding one fraction, so it will be just each card having the full width. And also we're adding gap between the card 20 pixel. If I just scroll down, you can see now, if I just try minimize the screen and scroll down, if you see now we have only one card. And on the media query, we are changing this on larger screen, for example above 600 to have two cards. If I just move to media query section here, above 600 we're changing this project cards to have like two function on one column, which it will have two cards in one column. If I save this one and just try show you how it look like on above 600, see now we have two cards. Basically this is only two cards, and above 900 we'll have three cards on the row. As you see here, three fraction, and that will, if we go to above 900, if you go above 900, we should see three cards on one row. If you see here, we have three cards on one row. This is how we displaying the card in different breakpoint using media query. So if we move to the card style, we're adding display loop, because the parent of the card is anchor tag. By default it's display inline, so we change that to be display loop. Width 100%, position relative, and transition, as I explained earlier, is just adding transition for all CSS element, and the period it will be here 1 second, and the type just will be is in out. And also we're adding a hover for the card. When you hover, for example, see when you hover on the card is animate. So basically we're adding a transition. It will use rotate 3D, which will be x0, and also on the y it will be 1. It will be animating vertically, and also 0.5, which will be the z, and also it will take one turn. So basically you can get half turn, 1 turn, 2 turn, but here I'm getting only 1 turn. So basically this is how you can apply animation. And see this animation, if I didn't add this transition, it will not be look nice as you see now. I will show you how that what I mean. For example, I remove the transition, so now the CSS animation is happening, but it's very quick. You can't see that one. So but when after adding the transition for the parent, before adding the hover, so this will delay the time between the transition happening, so the normal human eyes can't recognize that one. So basically now when you hover, you can see that effect. And also I'm adding for the image for this card width 100 and max height will be 300 pixel. And to take the full this height, so we have to add this 100% also after adding the fixed height. And also border radius for pixels, so to add a border radius on the corner for each card. And also I'm applying CSS for the image caption, so I'm adding a position absolute and z index 2 to just to be above of the image, and the color white and font size 20 pixel, margin and also the bottom it will be 0, margin 0, and auto to bring all the children on the middle, and padding 10, top down 10, right left 0, text align center to bring all the text on the center of the card, and the width it will be 100% of that caption, and also the background color it will be this light dark. So if you see that now, you can see it on the card itself. This one here, this is the down one, which it will be the caption, the image caption. And also, as I already explained earlier, that on the larger breakpoint, for example, above 600, I'm changing the card column or row to display 2 cards, and also above 900 to display 3 cards. Now this basically the project section. We can move to the next section, or before moving to next section, I can show you how that more responsive and look like on different screen. This is less than 600, and if we go less than 400, it will be only 1 card. So that's how you can build a responsive grid system. And now we can move to next section, which will be contact. Let's start adding our HTML for contact section. I will start just writing here the parent for contact section with ID called contact, and just close this section. And just inside the section we'll bring the children for this section. And here's this children. Let's just make it more readable. Right, so you have some space here. This section has a first child, the container. Again, this will bring all the children to middle of the screen, and also has a heading which should be h2 with a class called project title, and also has a paragraph, and also has an order list with a list item. First one. Anchor tag also has an ID called profile link, as this required by FreeCodeCamp to have your test pass, and also has a target blank, and also has a href with a URL that it will take you to this contact page, and same for the rest this 3 unordered list. And this HTML for contact section. Basically, let's go to CSS and add styling it. And before go to CSS, let's just show you that section, how does it look like. This is a contact, like it's not even visible enough, this area. Let's adding the CSS and see how that's going to change. And here, just before the media query, I'm going to bring the contact section style. So just here before the media query, I will paste the contact CSS, and I will start here by the parent, which is a contact ID. The selector will be the parent contact ID. If we just see here, this ID, and the contact ID we are applying for the parent color white, and display flex to apply all flex property, and minimum height is 80% of the view height. So for the screen height, and align item center to bring all the children on the center of the screen, and also text align center to bring also the text to the middle of the screen, and transition, which it will allow the CSS animation easily recognized, And we're adding also hover, basically when you hover on this section, to scale up the content by 1.5. And also I'm adding margin bottom to this HU1 to be 0. And I'm adding also to this unordered list padding 0 and font size to be 30 pixel. And also list style to be none. By default it will have a list style, and none, it will disable that one. It will take the 100% width for the contact section. And also I'm adding here for list item display to be inline block. By default it is inline. And also I'm adding margin right 40 pixel, margin bottom 15 pixel, and also again here I'm adding transition, so which is to allow the CSS animation recognized. And same here I'm adding for I'm removing the margin right from the last item or last list item. And also I'm adding a hover. Basically when you hover on the list item, it will scale up first the item by 1.5, then it will rotate it by minus 15 degree. And also I'm changing the color for anchor tag to be white. Beside, I'm removing text decoration to be none. By default there is a text decoration, and here I'm disabling that text decoration. So if I just move to that section after adding the CSS, if I press contact, if you see this now, we can see the content of that section. And also if we hover, it will zoom out the content. And also if we hover again on one of this link, it will zoom out and rotate it. If you see this link now doesn't have that icon on our right side, we have this icon for each link. I already added the HTML for this icon, but I didn't add the library. If you see here, this class FA code, so this is the name of the icon for Font Awesome. Let's add Font Awesome library to add that one. Just on this icon for CSS setting, press this one on this section, search for font, and scroll down. You can find here Font Awesome and press this one. After press that one and press close, and if you scroll again down to contact section, you should now see the icon. See, now we see these icons for Facebook and for GitHub, and this just for my website. Now this basically is the CSS for contact section, and we can move to the last section in our page, which is a footer. Let's add the footer HTML code. Let's add some more space here, which will be last section here on bottom. I will just start adding the footer by write the parent footer and just close that. And footer, and inside the footer, let me bring the children for this footer. The children just will be also again a container. Let's make it more readable. It will be a container. First one will be container to wrap all the children and bring them to middle of the screen. And I'm adding also footer content. So this will be a parent for the footer content to apply some styling for the children. And usually when you have a group of HTML element and you would like to add a CSS style for them, it's good idea to wrap all of them by one parent, and then easily you can add flex styling to them. So that's why I'm adding here this footer content. And the first style for footer content will be a logo, which has my YouTube channel logo URL, and also the second one will be just a paragraph to display this text here. If I just scroll to bottom of the screen, it's hardly to see because the color is black and the background is black, but after adding the CSS you can see this text. This is all the HTML for the footer section. Let's just go to CSS and add the footer CSS style. Just here before the media query, I will add the footer CSS, and I will start by first the footer. The parent has the full width of the screen and also has the background color white and has border top 2 pixels solid, and it is red, same as navbar color. So basically now you easily can see the border top with the red color. And also the footer content has a display flex. This is as I said earlier, because there's a parent and I need to apply display flex for all these children for this parent. And also I'm adding here display flex as I just said earlier, so because I'm trying to add a flex property for the children of this parent. And also justify content center to bring all the content or all the children on the center of horizontal position, and also align items. It will bring the children on vertical center of the screen. Minimum height, it will be 10 view height of the screen. And also the logo, it will have minimum width 80 pixel, and the margin right will be 20 pixel. And also the image for that logo, it will take 100%. As you see on the bottom, now we see the footer with the logo and also with the text. And to have this simple, just you need to write this HTML code here, which will be this one, and copy and semicolon. That will show you this copyright simple. So basically that's the footer, and all other section, contact section, and welcoming section, and also your project section, and that's all. And we can view that now, and we can save it. Can view it on full screen. Can press it, just view full page. Let's first save it. First to save it, just Control S, and then change view, select page view. This will take you to the full view. And now basically now we can hover, and we can, for example, press project. It will take us to project area, and if you press contact, it will take us to contact. And also if we hover here, it will zoom out, and if we hover on this, it will zoom out and rotate. And also if we press project again, if we hover on this card, it will rotate with the 3D with nice CSS animation. Also if you press about, it will take us to about section. If we move, if we zoom here, it will bring out or zoom out the text. And let's test our project. If you press this icon and select here personal portfolio, and then press run test, woohoo, 12 out of 12. This is our test pass, and this is our portfolio website is ready. Basically you can use it as your personal portfolio, and I hope that was useful and easy. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to press the subscribe button and enable the bell to get the latest change. Besides, if you like this video, press like button. That will support me to continue and uploading more videos. Also, do not forget to leave your comment about this video, or if you have any idea that needs me to do a video for. Thanks for watching.